Jenilee here with my Real Men segment, and we are in week 8. Now, some of my picks struggled a little bit last week, but hey, it happens. Been quite the weird fantasy year this far. So I got 3 picks for you guys this week, and I hope these are going to do a lot better. A couple of these are a little more ballsy as well, so I'm going out there with a couple of them. So my first pick is wide receiver Doug Baldwin, and he's a 2.5 on the ball scale. And he's a guy that obviously we hinted at this in the intro, but the Percy Harvin trade has definitely affected Baldwin so far last week in good ways. So that's what we want in fantasy. He right now is the clear #1 wide receiver for the Seahawks since Harvin is gone. He had 11 targets in last week's game against the Rams, so he saw a lot more looks. Of course, he's only going to be getting looks if he continues to get open, but that's definitely what we're hoping. They play Carolina, and Carolina is struggling against healthy #1 receivers. And also the Panthers have given up at least 1 touchdown to wide receivers in every week this year except for week 2. So the Panthers defense we've talked about is not what they were last season by far, and they are struggling against wide receivers mightily. And he had his first touchdown last week against the Rams, so he got in the end zone. I think that could continue to happen. This is a game that both teams need to win. The Seahawks are 3-3 right now. The Panthers are 3-1 with that crazy tie that they had. So this is an important game. It's an away game for Seattle, which we talk about. They don't play quite as good away as they do at home. So this is an important game for them. You might see Russell Wilson needing to throw the ball if it's a close game. And like I said, Baldwin already had 11 targets last week with Harvin being gone. So if he continues to get open, he's going to see those chances. So get him in your lineup. I'm trying to get him in a couple leagues this week. My second pick is tight end Dwayne Allen, and he's the Colts' tight end. I know he's not a name that we know a whole lot. He is a 3 balls pick on the ball scale. And I'm picking him this week because I like his matchup. He's playing the Steelers. Now, he's only averaging 43.5 yards per game, but he has 5 touchdowns on the season so far. So again, fantasy-wise, if he's getting in the end zone, that's exactly where you're going to get a bulk of your points, especially for tight ends. Tight ends don't have a ton of games typically where they're going 100-plus yards. Fleener and him are pretty close in targets, but Luck does look for Allen more so in the red zone. So you're going to have better chances if you have him in. We know Luck is going to throw the ball. That's something the Colts are always going to be doing. So that's not going to be a problem. And the Steelers have given up 4 touchdowns to tight ends so far this season. Greg Olsen, Jordan Cameron, and Owen Daniels, all three, had big games against the Steelers so far this season. So if Dwayne Allen is out there, I know he's out there on a lot of waiver wires. He's a guy that you could pick up that I think could get you a touchdown this season. His matchup is really good. This week, not season. And my last pick for the week is Detroit's defense. They're a 1-ball pick. I picked them up. They were on our waiver wire a couple weeks ago, and they're balling out in fantasy as well as just stat-wise. They are still the #1 defense in the league. They are 2nd versus the run, and they're 7th versus the pass. So their pass defense fell a little bit, but they're still up there in the top 10, obviously. They're playing Atlanta, and Atlanta has given up 9 sacks in the last 2 weeks. Atlanta's O-line is struggling. The Lions are getting sacks, however. They are 3rd in the league with 21 sacks. So this is a game that I think is going to be a little bit of a nightmare for Matt Ryan. The Lions' front is very, very good, and I see them getting at least 2 sacks on Matt Ryan, possibly more this week. Matt Ryan has also thrown 7 interceptions this season, and the Lions have 8 on the season. I wouldn't be surprised if they get a pick, adding to those fantasy points for you all. And the Lions are only allowing 15 points on average per game to their opponent. So this game is in Atlanta. Typically, Atlanta plays better at home, but they are very much struggling on this season. And as of late, I think the Lions defense is going to go in there and tear some things up. And they're going to get you some fantasy points with those sacks, possibly interceptions, maybe even a pick 6, who knows. but I think Atlanta's going to struggle against this defense. So go ahead and get them in your lineup, and there we go. Those are my Week 8 picks, and now we're going to give it on to Greg, and he's got your Beast Mode picks for you.